Pre-PSG, let's look at this guy's career in a bit more depth. You've been looking back and even just some of the football, the tactics, trying to figure out what kind of manager Emery may be when he does get to Arsenal. Like, it's quite interesting. He's been managing for a long time for a young man, 700 games, because he started when he was 32.
Yeah. He started his career at Lorca Deportiva, and it was through early injury. You said, we all know, we've looked at the Sevilla years, those 3 Europa League triumphs that he had. You spoke about tactically. He set his side up to relieve possession and we'll try and hit you on the break. That's how we're going to go and play against sides. But he's certainly, you said the 700 game, Joe, he's built his reputation up through lower league football. And
he was a second division player in Spain.
Yes.
And started managing at that level.
Yeah, serious injury curtailed his career, as you said, 32, so the amount of games that he's had. And so when he's with Lorca, he gets them promoted to the second division in his first season as manager, the first time they've ever done it in the history. So, you know, of course you get a bounce, I suppose, but he must have had some sort of knowledge. He must have been able to get his opinions across and get his tactics across to his side very well during that first season. So, you know, again, I admire the coaches when they take this road. Having played in the lower leagues of England myself, to get a promotion is very, very hard, unbelievably hard at any level, and he's done it in his first season, and that's where the success came from there, really.
With Valencia, he was kind of best of the rest behind the Barcelona, Real Madrid duopoly, and they generally finished third for a couple of years, and then he gets the Sevilla job. So, like, that Sevilla team, like 3 Europa Leagues, is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and I know it is. It can be a strange competition.
Yeah, it can.
Europa League, you know.
It only kicks in. We know the
some teams don't try in the group stages.
Exactly.
So I mean, how highly do you rate those 3 wins? Which is a ridiculous question.
I think it is a ridiculous question, but I look at maybe back even a little bit further. Almira, Joe. He got Almira promoted to La Liga for the first time in the history, which again, great achievement in my eyes. You said there, Valencia. He had David Silva, he had David Villa in the side when he was coaching there as well. So yeah, these are world class players. Don't get me wrong. So. But he still has to set them up. Finishing third is always going to be behind Real Madrid and Barcelona. We know that.
Fair enough.
Short spell at Spartak. Gets your coach Ed McGeady there when he was at Spartak Moscow.
That didn't go so well.
No. He had a 6-month spell, bad run of games, gets sacked, and then he comes back to Sevilla. So in his first full season, he wins that Europa League, beats Benfica on penalties. But I'm with you. I've seen a lot of the Europa League over the last few years, and it is hard to judge it at times because, yeah, great achievement winning those 3, yes, but it is always quarter-final, semi-final before you really get in that Sevilla test. You only need to look at Arsenal, how Arsenal approached it. Well, when all of a sudden then they're in a quarter-final, it's like, here we go now, lads, that's it, we're going to go for it. And it is a great achievement for them to get to a semi, get to a final. Atletico won it last week. But it is only at the latter stages when you're starting to get a true reflection. That's where it is. And of course, that fallout, but the one thing that makes it so much better for them, they actually qualified, of course, when they beat Liverpool 2 years ago, wasn't it? Even Dnipro, qualified for the Champions League, which of course then came in during that year. The fallout, you're getting the best Champions League or the best of the rest of the Champions League just don't quite make it. Atletico this year, Champions League, fallout, go and win the Europa League. That's what they actually managed to do, Sevilla once, didn't they? So they fell out the Champions League and went on to beat Liverpool in that final there in Basel a couple of years ago, and that's how he got the job.
I was reading a few different bits and pieces about him. Certainly, when he was at Sevilla, in La Liga terms, their possession stats went down each year. Kind of went down from low 50s to mid to high 40s. So your point about counter-attacking and not necessarily wanting the ball.
Well, and that's an average as well. So you know for a fact there'll be certain games that will be 35, under 40%.
Probably at odds, actually, with the great Arsenal tradition. I wonder if that raised an eyebrow from Wenger when he saw that. That was very interesting. The other stuff you see, it's kind of the same stuff you see in the media about any manager. You know, he's obsessed with football, watches loads of video apparently, and all that kind of stuff.
That's a given, though, isn't it?
I think so.
It annoys me. That should be a given.
I know, and it's just one of those things. It's an easy thing to write. Yeah. Apparently, he gives all the players USBs of their individual clips he's picked out.
Personally, I think that's a given as well. Now, that's a standard.
He's kind of crafty in that. There was one player, he thought to himself, "I don't think you're watching my footage." And so he started giving him empty USB sticks.
Yeah, I like that.
And then said to him, did you watch your footage this week? And the guy's like, yeah, boss, yeah, very interesting. And he gave him a few more USB cables, and then obviously called him into his office and called him out in it, and which is pretty good. I liked.
I quite like that. I hope he had a laugh with it as well. But some players don't like it. That is the thing. Most do now. Most it's a standard thing with him, with them. But
so, what's your sense of him then? 700 games.
Yeah,
6
experience.
Different teams.
You said 46 years old. He's still relatively young in coaching terms, but he's got so much experience under his belt. That's how he's got the job. Essentially, that's how he got the PSG job, and. I don't think we can judge him from PSG. He said they're 2 seasons. Yeah, what he's done this season, the domestic treble, but great that they've won it. But they have to win that league. That's a given. It was a disaster they didn't win it the year before. Monaco pipped them for it to the league, so that is a given how it is. Arsene Wenger, has he had say in this? I don't know. I think he's supposedly close with the people at PSG as well. Has he had a conversation with them? Has he recommended anyone to the board? I don't know. Suggesting to me that he probably wouldn't have done because they're getting rid of him. So why would they want to take it as advice on the next coach that's going to replace him? But as you said there, everything that he's done, certainly the sides that I saw, if I'm judging him on maybe more so the Sevilla side, the PSG is a different sort of entity. It's very much, we'll give you the ball and we will hurt you on the break, which I don't mind. I don't mind if you're going to mix that up and you're going to do that. But it is very much... well, certainly isn't in keeping, as you said there, with what Arsenal have traditionally done, particularly under Wenger for the last 20-odd years. So it will be interesting to see if he's going to actually go and say, well, tell you what, you can have the ball, we're going to play like Liverpool. I think they'll enjoy it if they are playing like Liverpool when they're playing against the better sides and they're actually countering really quickly and hurting them. They did that against Spurs, I remember, this season as well. They've got players capable of doing that with the likes of Lacazette now in there, they've the likes of Aubameyang. These type of players can play counter-attacking football, but it'd be interesting to see if he's going to use that style of football across the season. There will be a majority of games where Arsenal will have more possession. We know that because of the quality that they're going to be facing. But it's the bigger games where you're going to be judged.
Well, maybe that might suit Arsenal in a way. So they'll have more possession in lots of games anyway. They've got good technical players. That will be fine. Maybe they need someone who can actually, in the bigger games where you mightn't have so much of the ball, organise a defence and a team to sit back and defend well and actually take them through.
It's not maybe, I think that is. That is exactly what they do need.
Maybe that's what they,
It's exactly what
maybe that's their thinking. It's going to be very interesting. It's still not fully confirmed yet, so we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, over the next few weeks.